Welcome to week 14. Quick flick through on the activities this week. We're drawing minions all week. What we're really doing is learning how to draw objects within a space, how to make them look closer or further away. At the end of the week, you can cut your minions out or draw more to create a scene on maybe a piece of cardboard, maybe a whole class montage. Could be music festival, could be camping trip, birthday party. You guys decide. Let's get started on day one. If you do not have this sheet printed out, that's fine. Just sketch up really lightly some rectangles. The first one is 3 centimeters tall. Oh, not 3 meters tall, that's a mistake. And how wide really depends on you. Could be thinner, could be wider. It all makes for different looking minions. Begin by rounding off the top of the rectangle and not so round at the bottom, more just round the corners off. Next we're going to draw in the little straps that hold the overalls up. I'm thinking about halfway up, place a small mark, and then from those marks bring a strap down on an angle. Add a little button at the bottom. Now join those together with one line and then down and around to the outside. That's where the arms will sort of come through eventually. Let's add a pocket for now. I'm imagining the center of this circle, and that's where I'm going to place the first eye. So place a dot and then a large circle and an even bigger circle. That's the one eye. Add the goggle bands. Choose a hairstyle. Let me show you a few. It could be short hair, maybe a sprout, maybe a man bun. Let's go with the man bun. Great, something different today. And have a look at this area here. That's where the arm is going to come from. So draw your spaghetti arms, then what looks like a glove. It has a thumb and 2 fingers. Let's try out this side. Spaghetti arm, the opening to a glove, thumb and 2 fingers. All right, you've got it. And the legs should be really tiny. I'm putting my legs apart and some movement lines because he's going to be dancing. Sometimes we draw in an eyelid, sometimes 2. Draw just a simple mouth on this really small minion. Let's try a slightly more narrow rectangle, and we're going to start further down for the overalls. So with a few marks, draw the straps again. Those aren't pockets, that's the gaps where the arms will come out. Now we're going to draw 2 eyes. So have the first 2 touching together and then draw another line around the outside, eyeballs, and the straps that go across the head. Great. I'm going to do crew cut on this minion. No smile here. He's thinking hard about all the maths he'll need to do to create something. Excellent. Let's add some arms from these areas. So some spaghetti arms. The easiest way to draw arms is to hide the hands behind the back. Some little legs and just some simple shoes. Here's Bob drawn in a 5 centimeter rectangle. Because he's larger, we can add more detail like in the gloves, the reflections in the eye, stitching in the pockets, etc. This minion is a little too pointy at the bottom, but it will still work. This minion is doing a special job. He's using tools and he's building something. So let's start off drawing a basic minion. There's a tool in the pocket, gives a clue as to what he does. And his eyes looking up because he's pushing against something. That's really simple. Hands, if you like. And he's holding up a structure. And he's thinking if he doesn't get something figured out, he's going to be as flat as a pancake if this falls. Good luck, fix-it minion. Let's draw a girl minion. This one is rounded at the top, much flatter at the bottom for something different. And instead of buttons, we're using some flowers at the end of the straps. And a little bit more detail into the overalls. Let's add one eye to this minion. And the eye is looking upwards and to the left. I'll show you why later. Now it's time to draw a mouth. In a really large 8 centimeter minion, we can add lots of detail like the tongue inside the mouth, some laugh lines. If you want to add some hair, just play around with some different ideas. Here I'm going either side of the top, and there's an elastic with maybe a ponytail swishing to the side out the back. And why swishing? Because she also is grooving along to the music. Let's draw one arm up and one down. And how about we draw an 80s ghetto blaster? So with a little bit of color, this will look really good. Some music notes, and draw the feet out to the side if you want her sitting down on the ground. So there's Bob and Festival Girl with a little bit of color. How cool is that? I can't wait to see your minions. Here the cube looks like it's in front or closer to you because it's overlapping the cone, but now the cone's overlapping the cube and it looks closer. Tip 1, make an object appear closer towards you by overlapping it over the top of something else. Draw any two 3D objects and then add some hatches. Here's a round hatch. We could have a square hatch in the side, and you can see the hatch can swing back that way. You could also draw it swinging downwards, or we could have it swinging upwards. Two parallel lines, and the arrow helps explain. That's called annotating. Here I've got a big wide opening because inside this object, let's do something to serve hot meals at our music festival. So there's 3 yummy dishes steaming away, and with a bit of color, we're telling a story. Here's a hatch in the cone. We're drawing 2 lines roughly towards the apex. Now for the hatch that's open, draw these 2 lines any angle as long as they're parallel and the same length. Join them at the top, and then add your detail. Great, well done. Add some disco lights inside, and let's change it into one of those teepee kind of tents. I'm drawing an upside down pyramid. I'm truncating or erasing the apex. Now I'm adding a swimming pool. That's right, every festival needs some swimming pools. And a summertime festival, here's a smaller version. Let's join with a bridge. Add a ladder. This kind of design leaves lots of room down at the ground level for minions to surround. All right, so nighttime, some stars. What amazing activities will you have at your festival or party? Hey, happy drawers! This is day 3. Now, if you're working on blank paper, no problem, just give yourself a starting point, and we'll begin by drawing a bird's foot. So get your angles and draw it longer out the right-hand side. Let's make that into a wonky book, and then book to block. I'm drawing a border, and inside I'm going to draw what's called a driver. That's the thing that makes the actual sound. There's the angle for the driver. It's an ellipse. So draw in your ellipse and then the detail inside. Add some controls and some lights, and there is the concert speaker that we've created. How exciting is this party going to be? Imagine a line the same height as you'd like to draw your minion. In this case, it's about 3 centimeters. With practice, you won't need to draw a rectangle every time. 3 or 4 minions and you'll be an expert. My tip number 2, to make something appear further away, simply draw it smaller. And 1 more minion, even smaller and overlapped behind. There's tip 1 and tip 2. And for this fabulous musical event, here is our guest singer. Let's break all the rules and put a mohawk, a punk minion with platform sneakers. Hey, this looks pretty cool. Hey, welcome to day 4. Glennie D here with all the tips and tricks to help you place objects in 3D. All right, so we're looking at tip number 3, and you can see that the one circled has less detail than the one in front, and that's my tip. Objects that are further away often have less detail, and often they're a little higher on the page too. Just like that one, even less detail and higher on the page. What would happen if we drew a minion about the same size but further down on the page? This minion, because it's lower on the page, instead of looking smaller, it could be interpreted as like a baby minion. Further away objects use less detail and often are higher up on the page. Now pick a minion or any object and try drawing it smaller but with less detail as it gets further away from you. Fantastic! I will see you guys tomorrow for the Fab Challenge. See you then. Bye. A big hello to all of the students and teachers. This is Challenge Day. Now that you understand at least 3 tips on how to make objects in your drawings look further away, I want you to show me what you can do. Let's create a big scene on a piece of cardboard or paper. I'd like to be able to see each of those 3 tips being used. Do you remember what they were? We should see 3 different size minions. I'm suggesting the ones at the back are 3 centimeters. In the center of your page would be 5 centimeters and towards the front 8 centimeters. Thank you so much for joining in this week and this whole 14 weeks. You are all amazing. Keep up with your practice. Don't stop drawing. Don't stop designing. I'll catch you all very soon with some more fabulous 5 for Design. I'm Glennie D. Bye for now.